In this video we're going to look at how to add and subtract algebraic fractions. Before we look at algebraic fractions, we're going to remind ourselves how we add two normal fractions. So here we have a half plus a third. And remember, to add these two fractions together we need to find a common denominator. And the common denominator in this case would be 2 times 3, which is 6. Remember, the common denominator is the lowest common multiple of the two denominators. And then because we multiplied the bottom of the half by 3, we have to multiply the top by 3 as well, which gives us 3. And similarly, as we had to multiply the bottom of the third by 2, we have to multiply the top by 2, which gives us 2/6. Now that we have a common denominator, we can put it all over the 6 and do the 3 plus 2 of the numerators, giving us 5/6 as our final answer. Adding and subtracting algebraic fractions works in exactly the same way. First of all, we have to find a common denominator, and then we add the two numerators. It's exactly the same method as with normal fractions. Find a common denominator and then add the numerators. So let's look at some examples. This first example, we have 8x over 3 plus 4x over 3. In this case, both denominators are 3, so we already have a common denominator, so we can just go straight into doing 8x plus 4x all over 3, which gives us 12x over 3, and we notice that 3 and 12 will cancel, we lose the 3 and the 12 cancels down to 4, giving us a final answer of 4x. In the next example we have 3x over 4 plus 2x over 5. Now we have different denominators, 4 and 5, so we need to find the common denominator. The common denominator in this case is 20. Now, we multiply the 4 by 5 to get the 20, so we have to multiply the 3x by 5 as well to get 15x. Similarly, we multiply the 5 by 4, so we have to multiply the 2x by 4, which gives us 8x as the numerator for the second fraction. Now we can put them all over 20 and combine the top two numerators to get 15x plus 8x all over 20, which when we simplify gives us 23x over 20. In the next example we have x plus 4 over 8 minus x minus 7 over 9. Now the principle for subtraction is the same as the principle for addition. We first of all have to find a common denominator, which in this case is 72, and then we find our numerators. So for the 8 we have to multiply by 9, so we have to multiply the top by 9. In this case we get 9 brackets x plus 4, and for the second part of this sum we multiply by 8 on the top and bottom to get us 8 brackets x minus 7. Now we put this all together and we get 9 x plus 4 close brackets minus 8 x minus 7 all over 72. Now we have to multiply out the fractions and we get 9x plus 36 minus 8x plus 56. Okay, minus 8 times minus 7 gives us plus 56, and that is all over 72. And now we finally simplify that fraction. 9x minus 8x gives us an x, plus 36 plus 56 is plus 92, and it's all over 72, which is our final answer. In this example, we have x's on the bottom of the fractions, but we still treat it in the same way. We have 3x and x on the bottom, and we're looking for the common denominator. Well, the common denominator here is 3x. First one is already over 3x, and the second one, all we have to do is multiply x by 3 to get to 3x. So the first one hasn't changed, but for the second one we multiplied by 3, so we have to multiply the top by 3, which gives us 21. Now we combine these and we get 25 minus 21 over 3x, which is equal to 4 over 3x. So when we have x's on the bottom, we treat it in exactly the same way by finding the common denominator. Similarly for this one, we have 5x and x. This time the common denominator is going to be 5x, and the first one doesn't change, so we still have it over 5x. The second one is going to be multiplied by 5. So when we multiply that by 5, we multiply the 3 by 5 as well, which gives us 15 over 5x, and that gives us a final answer of 27 over 5x. Now this example looks a bit more complicated, as we have x plus 3 and x minus 4 on the bottom of our fractions. But we're going to treat it in exactly the same way. To find the common denominator, if we can't find a lowest common denominator, remember we always just multiply the two denominators, and that's what we're going to do here. So our first step is to get both of them over the same thing, and in this case it's going to be over x plus 3 in brackets times x minus 4 in brackets, and then we're going to do the same for the second one, x plus 3 x minus 4. For the first fraction we multiplied by x minus 4 on the bottom, so we have to multiply by x minus 4 on the top, which gives us 6x minus 4 on the top. And for the second fraction we multiplied by x plus 3 on the bottom, so we have to multiply by x plus 3 on the top, which gives us 8x plus 3. Now we can combine these and we get 6x minus 4, sorry, that should be a minus there, not a plus, minus 4, plus 8x plus 3 all over x plus 3 x minus 4. Now we multiply out the brackets and we get 6x minus 24 plus 8x plus 24 all over x plus 3 x minus 4, and finally 6x plus 8x is 14x, minus 24 plus 24 is 0, so we simply get 14x over x plus 3 x minus 4. You could multiply out the x plus 3 x minus 4 on the bottom of the fraction, but you normally don't have to. This example is very similar. We have x minus 1 and x plus 1 on the bottom, so we're going to multiply each of them by the other. So the first fraction is going to be over x minus 1 x plus 1, and the second one is going to be over the same thing, x minus 1, x plus 1. The first one we multiplied by x plus 1, so we have to multiply the top by x plus 1, which gives us 3 brackets x plus 1, and the second one we multiplied by x minus 1, so we have to multiply the top by x minus 1, which gives us 2x minus 1. Combining that, we get 3x plus 1 plus 2x minus 1 all over x minus 1, x plus 1, and then we multiply out the brackets to get 3x plus 3 plus 2x minus 2 all over x minus 1, x plus 1. 3x plus 2x is 5x. 3 minus 2 is plus 1 over x minus 1, x plus 1. These last two examples are very tricky, but we're going to go approach them with the same method that we've been using with the others. So first of all, we want to find the common denominator. And in this case, we notice that both fractions have x minus 2 on the bottom. So we don't need to combine that into them. But what we do need is to have the other two parts, the x plus 5 and the x, in both denominators. So our common denominator is x, x plus 5, x minus 2. And it's the same for the other one, x, x plus 5, x minus 2. Now for the first one, we have to multiply the bottom by x, so we have to multiply the top by x, which gives us 12x. For the second one, we have to multiply by x plus 5, so we have to multiply the top by x plus 5. And that gives us 7 brackets x plus 5. Once again, we combine everything now, and we get 12x plus 7 brackets x plus 5 all over x brackets x plus 5, x minus 2. And again, we now simplify this by multiplying out the brackets to get 12x plus 7x plus 35 all over x, x plus 5, x minus 2. And the final step is just to simplify the 12x plus 7x into 19x plus 35 all over x, x plus 5, x minus 2, giving us our final answer there. And finally, we're going to look at one with quadratics in the denominator. So with the quadratics in this one, we're going to deal with it in exactly the same way. But first of all, we're going to factorize the denominators. This will help us find our common denominator. So the first thing we do here is factorize the bottom. And the first quadratic gives us x minus 7 and x plus 3. And the second one is a difference of two squares, so it gives us x minus 7 and x plus 7. Now we can find the common denominator. And we notice that both of them have x minus 7 in the bottom, so we just need to combine the other two parts, the x plus 3 and the x plus 7, into the common denominator. So we get our common denominator of x minus 7, x plus 3, x plus 7. And the other one's going to have the same, x minus 7, x plus 3, x plus 7. And then we have to look at what we did to the two denominators. For the first one, we multiplied by x plus 7. So we have to multiply the top by x plus 7 as well, which gives us 15x plus 7. And for the second one, we have to multiply by x plus 3. So at the top, we have to multiply by x plus 3, giving us 3 brackets x plus 3. Now we can multiply out those brackets or combine the fractions, giving us 15x plus 7. Let's combine the fractions first. Minus 3x plus 3 all over x minus 7, x plus 3, x plus 7. Now we're going to multiply out those brackets to get 15x plus 105 minus 3x minus 9 all over x minus 7, x plus 3, x plus 7. And finally, we then clear that up by combining the 15x and the minus 3x to 12x, and the plus 105 minus 9 to plus 96. And that's all over x minus 7, x plus 3, x plus 7, which is our final answer there. There is one thing to note that's very important here, which is at this stage here, where we combined the two fractions. If we had have multiplied out the fraction first, then we would have got 15x plus 105 minus 3x plus 3 on the second fraction. Here we would have got 3x plus 9, sorry. We have to remember that this minus here affects the whole of that fraction. So it's much better to combine the fractions before multiplying out the brackets. Otherwise, you can make a mistake by forgetting to combine that negative with the second number. So that's how we deal with algebraic fractions in terms of adding and subtracting them. And as I said at the beginning, it is very similar to the method we use for adding and subtracting normal fractions with numbers.